We got a phone call, you see, from your aunt Dee this afternoon, and ever since Julian and I have been butterfingers. I dropped 2 glasses, she dropped the sugar bowl, and now this pot. Oh, here's my man.
Oh, I didn't know you guys were still here.
There's Cousin Ryan again. Yeah, Graham's insisted we put on the bib and everything like that.
Oh, yes,
so.
and a better dinner guest I never had. Oh, come on, sit down.
Here we go.
Oh, well, you guys remember each other, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. How you doing?
Oh, take that for me, Grams. Rick, congratulations, Detective. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You want to hold him?
Oh, I sure do.
Great.
He smells so good.
Yeah, well, he should. I just cleaned him and bathed him and changed him. What? What's that?
Right?
Yeah, I
out.
think she's real pretty. That's Cousin Ryan. That was the first girl ever in my whole life. What? What? Oh, I think she likes you too,
yes,
pal.
come here.
There you go.
Come here. Come on over.
I knew you wanted to hold him.
Baby. Rick, I think I've got a little bit of a confession to make. I can't help myself. I don't think I want to go home tonight. I think I fell in love with somebody new. A much younger man, huh? A much younger man.
So cute, I could puke.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys are hitting it off. Because there's a real special favor I want to ask of you, Ryan.
Jono, anything you want, you know that.
Well, you know I'm having Oni here baptized at St. A's. And I know it would mean a lot to him and to me if you would be his godmother. Would you?
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Oh, I'd be honored to, Jono. Did you hear
You
that?
like that? Yo!
He loves your hair.
Yes, it sure does.
Isn't that exciting? And
He asked me to be his godmother.
Yes, it's wonderful, I heard.
Well, I think we've got to go tell Aunt Jill. What about you? Oh, I see you agree, huh?
Yes.
Come on.
Go ask
Here, here's the bag.
Whoa, don't tell
Whoops,
Jill.
Daisy.
Got it.
What's
Oh,
that?
his little head.
See you later, pal.
Tell Jill, bye-bye.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
Of course.
Hear me.
oh, John, I'm so pleased that you're having him baptized.
Well, it's only fair that I start him out right, Graham.
Well, I'm proud that you're going to raise him with the grace of God and the tradition of the church. Oh, and Ryan, another link in the family chain.
Well, I've got to hand it to you. I'd rather face a mob of gangsters than do what you're doing, bringing up a kid by yourself.
Well, you'll find out, Rick, that there's really no such thing as raising a kid by yourself in this family. If you lock the doors, they come through the windows. If you lock the windows, Graham's here will kind of slide down dinner down the chimney.
How could you say such a thing? I never stick my nose in where it's not
Oh,
wanted.
no, of course not. She doesn't. She'll just send food.
No, I don't think he'll admit it, but I think he's sleepy.
Oh,
You sleepy, pal?
Maybe you better take him home, darling.
Okay, I'll
You want to get him?
You put him in his carrier, Graham. I'll go off and get the rest of the stuff.
My hair. Let go of my hair. You can't take it with you.
I don't think he's going to.
Let go, pal.
Let go.
There you go. There we go.
You're on soon enough.
There we go.
He likes that. Take that.
Well, you know, you look kind of tired, too. Why don't we go home?
Listen. Yeah, as long as we're here and your grandparents have room, why don't we stay over?
Well, Rick, this is going to be our first night back in the apartment.
Yeah, I know. Just one more night.
It's Vinny, isn't it?
Siobhan and I really think that he's near. So let's stay here.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just go ask Grandma. I'm sure she'll say it's okay.
All right. I'll be up in a minute.
Well, where are you going?
I have some errands for you. Go on.
You're going to the apartment, aren't you?
I have to.
Rick, why don't you just let somebody else take care of
But
Vinny?
I have to do it. If we don't get Vinny, we'll never be free of him. Trust me.
Be careful. Maeve tell you that she spoke to Dee?
Yeah. She told me she's coming. I figured she would sooner or later, as soon as she found out about Oni.
How's it make you feel?
I feel okay about it. I mean, I'm old enough to appreciate her now, and besides, she really is a lot of fun when she's not all boxed in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think her and Oni will have a ball together.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Now, Dad, on the other hand, that's a different story.
Wait a minute. You didn't tell him?
I know. I was going to wait till he got home.
Oh, great.
We did talk about you, though, Joe. And I told him how I see it was obvious that you two were still in love.
No, come on, you didn't really do that, did you?
Well, it's true. I mean, that's what makes this thing between you two so dumb.
Listen, people can love each other for always and ever. It doesn't necessarily mean that they can live together.
Yeah, but if they have insurmountable obstacles,
Yeah, well, Frank and I are our own insurmountable obstacles.
Oh, yeah, since when?
Since a long time. I don't know, it's a long story, and it's late.
It's okay. Owen can't tell time yet. I need to know, Jill. Why are you and Dad doing this to each other?
You know the story, don't you?
All I know is that Dakota is Gramps' son by a woman named Meg Smith. And you were sick when you met him. That's all I know.
Oh, Jono. I went looking for Dakota because I wanted to find out if he was really Johnny's son. And some Neanderthal attacked me, hit me on the head, and when I came to, I looked up. Looking down at me was this beautiful man, asking me in the gentlest, kindest way if I was all right. His name was Dakota Smith.
Dad told me about it. I mean, I'm sure Dakota's a great guy, but you and Dad are like mated for eternity. How could you stop loving him?
I didn't stop loving him. Jono, Dakota just happened to me. I didn't know who I was. I was vulnerable and frightened, scared. And there he was. He nursed me back to health. He gave me all my strength, all his strength and protection, everything. And I was just a blank page. And he was this wild, happy, free spirit. And I became just like him. Just two people just floating off into the wind. And we fell in love. We really fell in love. And then I got my memory back, and Frank took me back home. And I was Jillian Coleridge Ryan again, his wife. Only there was a part of me that was still Sarah Jane, and a part of me that really still loved Dakota very much.
It must have hurt my father so much knowing that. And you.
You know how I've always been. I always think that I know myself so well, I know all the answers. And suddenly I didn't know anything. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted, I didn't know who I loved. I couldn't go back to Frank knowing that I cared about somebody else.
You can stay with Dakota knowing you still care for my dad?
Well, I'm trying to work on it.
I don't get this. I mean, if you have to work on it, how come you can't work things out with Dad?
Because I don't want to hurt him again. I don't want to fail him. You know, it's kind of like the decision you had to make about Oni's mother. I mean, all of a sudden you're faced with this moral dilemma. There isn't any right or wrong. You just have to make a personal decision. And you pray to God that it's the right one.
You know what I've always liked about you best? The fact that you can admit when you're wrong. That you're not afraid to say, hold it. Hold on a second, it was my mistake. Why can't you admit that now? Why can't you admit you belong with my father?